Myself, Dr. Kalika Prasad Yadav, head the Department of English, Sri Viswanath PG College, Kalan Sultanpur. Good afternoon, students. As in the previous video, in the last video, we were discussing on unsolved paper question number. We were on question number 2, that is section B. In that video, I solved A number explanation, B number. Today I come on C number that is 3 number. In unsolved paper it has been written. Passage is, stanza is, what though the field be lost, all is not lost. The unconquerable will and the study of revenge, immortal hate, and courage never to submit or yield, and what is ill not be overcome. This stanza has been selected from Milton's Paradise Lost, in which Satan is saying, this is the statement of Satan. Some critics have said that Satan is the hero of the epic Paradise Lost because he is too courageous to say. He is so courageous that although he was defeated, but he is trying for his winning, for his victory again and again. He says, what though the field be lost? Field means battlefield. What though the field be lost? Although he has defeated in the battlefield. Battlefield. What though the field be lost? Although he has defeated in the battlefield. Satan says that although he has defeated in the battlefield, all is not lost. What though the field be lost? Satan says that he has defeated in the battlefield, but has he defeated everywhere? That is not. He will attempt again and again for his victory. He says, all is not lost. In the next line he says, all is not lost. The unconquerable will. He will attempt again and again for his victory. His attempt is not lost. He will attempt again and again. He will try again and again. And the study of revenge. He will also try for his revenge. Immortal hate. And courage never to submit or yield. Courage is a thing by which he is so courageous that one cannot defeat him. One cannot defeat the Satan. And courage never to submit or yield. He will not surrender his courage. He is too courageous to say. He will not surrender his courage. He will try again and again for his victory. Satan says. Next, and what is ills not be overcome. And what is ills not be overcome mean courage is a thing. And what is ills not be overcome mean he has overcome, he has won. The courage he has won, W-O-N, been won. He has won the courage. He has got his victory on courage. That is, he has show courage. Although he has defeated in the battlefield, but through his courage he will attempt again and again. He has defeated directly in the battlefield, but he will try again and again for his victory. He has courage for his target, he says. In this way, through this stanza, Milton has given his message that if man has courage, he can make possible every work like Shaitan. Although some critics say that that Milton is with the Satan party. Satan party mean Oliver Cromwell. As you know that Milton supported Commonwealth or Puritan. Satan is the form. Satan is the symbol of Oliver Cromwell. Satan is the symbol of Commonwealth, which was Milton's party. Milton is giving instruction to his countrymen for the democracy that man ought to attempt like Satan. If they have aim, target, and also courage, they will be succeeded one day. In this way, this is great stanza of Milton's epic. This is written in the stanza has been written in blank verse. Milton has written his Paradise Lost in blank verse. Next point. What though the field be lost, all is not lost, the unconquerable will, and the study of revenge, immortal hate, and courage never to submit are ill, and what is ill shall not be overcome. In this way, Milton seemed to be as a preacher, he is preaching his gospel. He is preaching his gospel to the man. He is giving a message to attempt for his target. That is why some critics have said that Milton's Paradise Lost is the Christian's Gita. As the Gita for us, so the epic Paradise Lost is also for Christian. It has some ideology, some philosophy, how to live the life, how we can get success. Milton has given his strategy. This is strategy. We ought to keep patience if we are in problem. We have to face and face. If we have willpower, Satan has willpower for his target. In this way, we have also some willpower for his target. Milton is right. Next stanza. Our two souls therefore which are one, though I must go endeavor not yet. I breach but an expansion, like gold to airy thinness beat. This stanza has been taken from John Donne's poem, Our Two Souls Therefore Which Are One. Valediction forbidding mourning. This stanza has been taken from the poem Our Two Souls, John Donne's poem, a great metaphysical poet, John Donne's poem, Our Two Souls Therefore Which Are One. Though I must go, endeavor not yet, a breach but an expansion like gold to airy thinness. This stanza has been selected from John Donne's poetry. Our two souls therefore which are one. John Donne says that his soul and his wife's soul both are one. Here there is platonic love. Platonic love means the unity between soul and body. Platonic love, as you know that there is metaphysical conceit and metaphysical conceit. Metaphysical conceit is a figure of speech where two opposite ideas are compare, where two opposite ideas or two opposite things are compare each other together, where two opposite ideas are compared together, there is a figure of speech in metaphysical poetry named metaphysical conceit. Metaphysical conceit is a figure of speech which has been applied by John Donne in John Donne's poetry. T.S. Eliot has said that in his essay Metaphysical Poet, T.S. Eliot has said that there is metaphysical conceit in John Donne's poetry, or in metaphysical poet's poetry there is metaphysical conceit. Where two opposite ideas are compared together, there is metaphysical conceit. John Donne has compared compass. We are like the compass, one foot on the center and other foot circle. This is also the unique example of metaphysical conceit. There is metaphysical conceit in John Donne's poetry. His poetry is the model of metaphysical conceit. This figure of speech is here. And also next point, Platonic love. Platonic love. Platonic love means unity between soul and body. In John Donne's poetry, there is unity. There is great unity in soul and body. Unity between soul and body. There is unity between soul and body. Such type of love is called Platonic love. In John Donne's poetry, there is Platonic love. That is, there is the unity between soul and body in John Donne's poetry. Such type of example is the above passage. Our two souls, therefore, which are one. John Donne says that although he and his wife both are different in body, but our two souls, therefore, which are one. But our two souls, therefore, which are one. Souls are one, mean Platonic love. There is unique love between soul and body. Our two souls, therefore, which are one. He says that he and his wife both are two in body. On one side, he is, and on the other side. In one form, John Donne figure is, and in other form, his wife figure is, bodily. But they have intertwined each other. They hang together each other. Inseparably, they are intertwined each other. They hang each other. John Donne says that our two souls, therefore, which are one. Although they are two souls, in figure they are two, but they are one. This is the unique example of Platonic love. Next line. Though I must go, endeavor not yet. John Donne says that we are mortal and we have to go to heaven one day. Though I must go, endeavor not yet. John Donne does not fear it. He challenged death. He is ready to go to die because they have intertwined each other inseparably. They are one. In seeming they are two, but really they are one. John Donne says, though I must go, endeavor not yet, a breach but an expansion. This is like a pin, but an expansion. They have expanded, they have spread, like gold to airy thinness beat. As the gold, which shine when it is beaten. In this way, if they are tortured, they will spread their power like the gold. Gold shines when it is beaten. When the gold is beaten, it is transformed. It is transformed. It is changed into other form and it shines in jewelry when it is beaten through the goldsmith. In this way, when they are tortured, when they are died, they will live in peace. They will be peaceful. They will feel peaceful, John Donne says. In this way, this stanza is the unique stanza of metaphysical conceit as well as platonic love. John Donne has also mingled the imagery and feeling each other. That is why T.S. Eliot has said that there is unified sensibility or unification of sensibility. Unified sensibility or unification of sensibility where the images, where the feelings and thought are mingled each other and the poet is confused. Where the poet is confused and he mingles the feelings and thought together, there is unified sensibility in the poetry. In John Donne's poetry, there is also the unified sensibility or the unification of sensibility in Donne's poetry. This is also, above stanza is the unique example, model example of such literary term. Next stanza, stanza number 4. In this way, in the next video, I shall meet you again. Good for you, for your health. Stay at your home, read. Thanks.